Hello and welcome back to another video with me, Squishalski, and RPG Maker with on the Nintendo Switch. So if you are new to this channel, welcome, and if you haven't already seen what I've been playing, obviously RPG Maker with is my next game, and I've been playing a game called A Murder in Buckfield. So let's get into it. So, A Murder in Buckfield is a game built on RPG Maker with, and I believe it's SCS actually created the game, and I quite like this game, to be fair. I think it's really good. So I'm going to continue on with it. So you hang up the phone. So we are at a point where there's a number of things that I need to actually do. So let me take a look through. So I've got 6 out of 25 tasks, and I've done 11 out of 33 clues, or I've got 11 out of 33 clues. So these are the things that I need to do. So I need to investigate the broken window, which is in the church, investigate the headless statue, which is in someone's garden near the church. I think it's near the church. Interview Linda Johnson, locate Eddie Blake, and interview Tommy Harris, and also interview Paul Richards. So let's have a look at the clues that I have. So I have the bloodied clothes, the broken church window, the brown hair strand, the headless statue, Emily's body, the Chesterfield cigarette butt, Jim's photo, locks of hair, safe combination, unique earring, and size 10.5 footprints. So let's continue on. So I need to try and figure out where I need to go from here. Okay, so that's for the evidence room. Okay, so let me just have a speak with Laura. So Officer Wallace nods thoughtfully, a flicker of admiration in her eyes. You're starting to make some sense of this, I'll give you that. If you keep following the facts like you are now, we might actually get somewhere. Nice of her to say so. Behind this door, officers escape reality, if only for a few stolen moments. You should find another bathroom to do your business. So, Chief Lawson, we've been through a lot today. It will take some time for Forensic Lab to come back to us with any results. In the meantime, let's keep digging. I think you're focused on the right leads, Detective. Okay. So, just need to see if there's anyone else that I actually need to speak to. And I don't know that there is, actually. So I'm going to just see if I can speak to Clive. I may have tried this in the last video, can't quite remember. So yes, I'm going to speak to Clive. Clive groans, shifting uncontrollably in the bed. Keep your eyes open, people lie, but all the little things don't. Oh, my stomach. You nod, leaving Clive to recover. Okay, so he's not going to say too much. Okay. So I've got to try and... Okay, let's see if there's anything else that I can get from people. Afternoon, Detective. What can I do for you? If you're here about one of the guests, I'll help where I can. Long as it doesn't mess with my bookings. The place may be old, but I run a tight ship. I think he's done this before, but Clive, let's just ask why. Have you seen Detective Henderson? Oh yeah, your partner's here. Put my bathroom out of commission for a while, but poor dude's been holed up all day. Something about greasy spoon. Not the first guest who's complained about that place. I've got extra towels and ginger ale on standby if he needs. Least I can do. Ask about other guests. Who typically comes through this place? We don't get much excitement around here, mostly truckers passing through, a couple of hikers, folks interested in the mountain view, not long-term stays, at least usually. Folks keep to themselves, although some more than others. Anything specific you're looking for, detective? Just poking around? Something like that. Okay. So yeah, I've already kind of spoke with him about anything else. Okay. So I've already spoke to him. So I need to really... Let's see if I can... I need to really get knocking on these other doors, but I don't think that there's anyone's in. You look down the road that leaves town, flanked by a few scattered houses and open fields stretching into this. There's nothing for you that way. Okay. Can't do anything here. Okay, let's... This missing head gives an eerie, unsettling quality, almost as though it's been left in mockery or as a warning. You should speak to Randy Cooper about this. Knock on the door, yes. Don't think anyone's going to be in. Yeah, seems no one's home. Okay. I don't think anyone's going to be in here either. No one's there either, right? Okay, I've probably already done this, but I'm going to go back and try and have a look. Oh, what's this here? Try and talk to this dude again. Somebody remains silent, lost in thought, barely acknowledging your presence as he says past you, haunted by his own remorse. You shouldn't let him be for now, okay? Right. So no, he's not going to say anything else. So. Anything? No, nothing this way. Okay, so let's go back up here. I'm going to go all the way to the right, go towards Linda's house. Let's see if she's I don't think she's going to talk to me yet. There's obviously something that I've not done. Just go here. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so there's nothing to the left. Well, better news. At least my camera looks like it's behaving itself now. I don't know what that was all about. I feel like this. He's not there yet, no. And I know that I've gone through all of that. Let's just see if she's there. So, knock on the door, yes. Oh, she's there. A woman opens the door, her unkempt hair hanging limp around her face. The faint smell of alcohol still lingering in the air. Her eyes are red and swollen. The puffiness a testament to hours of relentless sobbing. The dark circles beneath her eyes tell of sleepless nights, and her once pristine clothes now look dishevelled, as if she hasn't cared to change in days. Her body leans heavily against the doorframe as if it takes all her energy just to stand. There is a hollow look in her eyes, an emptiness that mirrors the grief tearing through her, the unbearable loss of her daughter, taken from her so suddenly, so violently. Her lips tremble as she speaks, but the words come out in a broken whisper, barely audible, as though the weight of her sorrow has stolen her voice. Detective, Miss Johnson, come on in. Okay. I'm sorry for your loss, Miss Johnson. I have some things I need to ask you about. Excuse me. She nods faintly, her countess etched with sorrow. Talk about Emily and Tommy. Let's start there. Linda, I need you to tell me about Emily. What was she like? She stares at the floor for a long moment, her voice trembling as her fists clench, knuckles turning white. She was my baby girl. She had this light about her. Everyone saw it, not just me. Smart, stubborn, full of fire. God, was she stubborn. She'd fight me on everything. Curfew, school, the people she hung out with. She thought I was always trying to control her, but I just wanted to keep her safe. Tears begin to roll down her cheeks as she pauses to catch her breath. We fought a lot, screaming matches, slamming doors. She'd yell that I was ruining her life all the time. I was trying to save it, Detective. I told her Sarah Foster was trouble, but she wouldn't listen. I told her Jacob Turner was sketchy, and she just laughed in my face. God help me. Sometimes I'd scream louder, slammed a few doors myself, whatever it took to get through to her. But now, the tears are now spilling over uncontrollably. You look on, trying to maintain your objectivity as the full force of her grief tests the limits of your resolve. Ask about Emily's friends. Jacob Turner. He's the librarian at Buckfield Library, right? Buckfield Public Library, right? Can you tell me about him, about Emily's friend Sarah? Emily's friend's been with Sarah and Sophie since grade school. Sophie? Sophie Cooper. She lives next door to Sarah, over by the church. She's Randy Cooper's daughter. That's right. Emily, Sarah and Sophie. They used to be inseparable, but the last couple of years Sophie drifted apart from them. She's a sweet girl, but things changed once Emily started dating that Paul. Emily became different, distant. It only got worse when she met Jacob Turner. I'm not sure that I'm following Linda. She exhales shakily, her fingers trembling as she rubs her temples. Her voice drops to a haunted whisper. She started coming home late, or not at all, started staying at her Aunt Carol's. Then I began to find money missing. When I'd see her, she was red-eyed and jittery, like she hadn't slept in days. I knew what they meant. You think she was on drugs? My hands aren't entirely clean, Detective. I knew why she, Sarah and Jacob went to the city on weekends. They were going to parties, concerts. I'm sure you know what goes on there. You think she was getting drugs from Jacob Turner? Do I have to spell it out for you, Detective? Of course she was. I'll need to interview this Jacob character, Sarah Foster and Sophie Cooper too. Linda swallowed harder, her voice tightening with anger and grief. I confronted her, Detective. She'd lie, obviously, tell me I was paranoid, that I didn't understand. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I was a terrible mother, but I was trying. God, I was trying. I thought I'd have more time to pull her out of it, but instead some monster took her, and now I'm left wondering if I could have stopped it. You absolutely cannot blame yourself for any of this, Linda. She can't hold back any longer. Tears flood her eyes as she collapses into her hands, her body shaking with sobs. You stand there, subdued, not daring to say a word. Ask about her romance with Tommy. Tell me about you and Tommy. He's your boyfriend. She lets out a trottle, unhidden, bitter and sharp, almost like a bark of pain. Boyfriend, sure. We're close, detective, like a match to gasoline. Tommy and I, we're burnt hot, but that fire didn't just warm, it scorched. He had his way of making me feel like I was the only woman on earth, and then the next second, like I was nothing. But he's been the only one there for me since my husband died. I heard about that from Ms. Green and Mrs. Collins. My condolences, ma'am. She sighs, the pain on her face evident. It was a long time ago, but things have never been the same. Not for me, definitely not for Emily. But I try not to dwell on the past, detective. Her expression grows contorted with anger and regret. Anyway, Tommy, well, he loved control, detective. And when he didn't get it, that temper of his came out swinging, I guess. I guess I didn't protect her well enough, and now she's gone, and I can't stop wondering if I let the devil through the front door. You're taken aback by Linda's bluntness, her willingness to speak so openly, her contempt for Tommy apparent. You can't help but wonder, is she suggesting that he might be responsible for Emily's murder? Ask about Tommy's abusive nature. Tommy, was he abusive towards you? Towards Emily? She hardens, the sadness in her eyes giving way to fury, yet she wavers. It may be difficult to talk about, but I've heard things about his temper. I need to understand if there's a connection here. Look, he's got issues. A couple of nights ago we had a big fight. He was drunk. It was bad, okay? I don't want to talk about this. I understand, but if there's even a chance of her... I understand, but if there's even a chance he hurt her or threatened her, I need to know. Please, Emily deserves the truth. Her body tenses, her gaze fixed on the floor. Linda? She remains hushed as a bird afraid to leave its cage. Did he hit you? He did. Didn't hit me. Yeah, we got into it. About money. About the same damn things we always fight about. Emily was home. She heard us. What happened? He came into the room, told him to get lost, to leave me alone, to fuck off. Her voice breaks. He snapped. Did he touch her? You? Like I said, no, not this time, but... She lowers her head, tears again trickling down her cheeks in a steady, quiet stream. He screamed at her. He said, I'll kill you, you whore, and your stupid deadbeat bitch of a mum. I told him we were through, for real this time. He left after that, after throwing some things around, his usual rage, slamming the door so hard the frame shook. Your eyes widen. This is the clearest lead to finding Emily's killer yet, Emily's killer yet, placed right in your lap. But was it Harris? You need to interview him as soon as possible. Did you tell anyone? Report it. Who would I tell? Despite what you might have heard, detective, people here don't give a flying fuck about what happens behind closed doors. Ooh. You can tell she's struggling, her speech a mix of agony and venom, holding back sobs with trembling lips and shallow, uneven breaths, her eyes glistening as she desperately blinks away tears. I know this isn't easy. No, that's not what you want to say, of course. This isn't fucking easy. You've never been good in these type of situations. What could you possibly say? I'm sorry, Linda, but this might help us find who did this. We'll make sure Tommy answers for everything if he's involved. Linda lets out a stifled, bitter laugh, still battling to hold back a torrent of laments. I spent years looking over my shoulder with Tommy, but Emily, she didn't scare easy. She thought she'd won. I should have done more. I know this is hell for you. She hangs her head low, a feeling of hopelessness spelled out in her features. One more thing. We're trying to confirm Tommy's whereabouts from last night till this morning. Did you see him at all? Linda looks at you, water pooling in her swollen, reddened eyes. Yesterday, Emily stopped by. She's been staying at her aunt's place. For the first time in a while, we didn't fight. It felt like we'd made peace. When she left, that was the last time I saw her. I watched her go, and I saw Tommy at his shop. We made eye contact, but we didn't speak. We haven't talked since the other night. You pen a couple more entries into your memo pad. Thank you for your frankness, Linda. Talk about... Cool. Right. Jim's photo. You pull out the Polaroid that you received from Jim O'Malley. I came across this photo from Jim O'Malley at the Dancing Damsel. It's of Emily, and as I understand it, this is Paul Richards and Sarah Foster standing next to her. She briefly looks at the Polaroid, silently affirming your assessment before adding, and that's Tommy in the back, drunk as a fish in a barrel of moonshine. He was in a bad mood that day. It's from a month ago, right after Emily and Sarah graduated. We all went out for lunch. I'd like to ask you about Paul Richards. I understand Emily broke up with him recently. Was he stalking her? I never liked Paul, not one bit. Paul didn't like her being around her friends, especially Sarah. I guess he didn't like her having a life that didn't revolve around him. Her eyes dropped to the floor, her mind tangled in a web of scattered thoughts. Did he stalk her? Look, you can't go very far in this town, detective. He was always a control freak, that piece of shit. He controlled her? This is visible frustration written all over Linda's face. Paul wasn't always this obsessive. At first, it seemed like he was just some bad boyfriend, you know. Just some kid who couldn't stand to let Emily out of his sight. But then he started to change. He showed up places uninvited, expecting her to drop everything for him. Her eyes narrow as she recalls the memories. And when she'd try to hang out with Sarah or go anywhere without him, he'd get this look on his face, like he was possessive. Whenever he tried to warn her, she'd just laugh at me. Whenever I'd try to warn her, she'd just laugh at me, like I was the one overreacting. She exhaled sharply, trying to calm the anger rising in her chest. He'd call her non-stop, all the time. Where are you? Who are you with? Even if she went out for 5 minutes, he'd be on her like a hawk. If she didn't answer, he'd turn up at the door like it was his right to be here. I remember one time he even showed up at Sarah's place unannounced, and that was after she'd told him she was out with me, like it was some kind of betrayal. Her hand rises to rub her forehead, as if the stress of remembering is too much. I found a letter from him right before. It was nothing but threats. He said she'd regret it, said she'd feel it soon, enough if she'd keep pushing him away. So he did control her, hell yes, and I told her over and over again, but Emily was stubborn. She defended him no matter what. That photo, it says everything. She hated him by the end. That was the day she finally dumped him. After that, he started showing up even more, outside her window, on the street. It was like he was everywhere, even when he wasn't there. I should have done more. I should have stopped it. You penned several notes in your notepad. Your gratitude for the information apparent. Talk about... You pull out a photo taken by the officer Wallace at the crime scene. It depicts the dark gemstone earring that you found on the ground, torn from Emily's ear during the assault on her life. Emily was wearing these earrings when she was attacked. Do you recognise them? Did she wear them often? Linda pauses, swallowing hard. Yeah, she wore them all the time. They were given to her from her father when she was when she was still a little girl. She always wore them with the dark gemstone necklace. They were a matching set. Dark gemstone necklace? She wasn't wearing a necklace when you examined her body. No such necklace was found at the crime scene. This necklace, are you sure she didn't leave it behind? Maybe it's somewhere around the house. At her aunt's? Oh no, detective, she never took off that necklace. Duly noted. Excuse me, another question. Did Emily smoke? Emily, no, she wasn't a smoker. Excuse me. She hated the smell and was always up my arse about it. What about her friends? Paul? Jacob Turner? Paul, yeah, always smoked Newports. Her other friends, no, I don't think so. I don't know about Jacob, detective. Maybe. Why? Excuse me. Just following up on some things. Never mind. It seems the Chesterfield butt did not come from Emily. One more question again. This might seem random, but do you know what shoe size Tommy wears? We found footprints at the scene. She stares off, lost in thought. Tommy's shoe size, probably 10 or 10 and a half, something like that. That is very helpful, thank you. Talk about... Linda, I need to tell you something. I found locks of Emily's hair in Pastor Peter's office. He kept them in a safe. Her head snaps up, her expression a blend of horror and fury. What? Are you telling me that man kept my daughter's hair? Her hands clench into fists, her voice rising with disgust. I knew it. I knew there was something wrong with him. I stopped going to that church years ago because of the way he acted around her. Emily was 15 when I noticed it. He'd watch her during service, long lingering looks that made my skin crawl. He'd find any excuse to talk to her after, to ask to help with this or that. I told her to stay away, but Emily just thought I was being paranoid as usual. Linda shudders, shaking her head. I didn't like the way he looked at her, detective. It wasn't right. And now this? God, I should have done more. I should have said something. I should have... Her words trail off as she clutches her chest. You take a deep breath, gathering your thoughts as you briefly review the details you've collected. Speaking of the church, ma'am, someone threw a rock through the window early this morning. Does that sound like something Paul Richards would do? I wouldn't put it past him. Everyone's fingered him when Randy's statue was found missing its head. But what the fuck does that have to do with my baby, detective? I'm just trying to understand Paul's character, Linda. So if Paul vandalised the creep's church, that somehow implies he might also have murdered my daughter? We're considering all possibilities. You've exhausted this topic for now. Talk about... Done that. Go. I appreciate your willingness to share, ma'am. Right, look around. I know this is difficult, and I don't want to cause you any more distress, but to help with the investigation, we often ask to look around the victim's home. It can sometimes provide us with important details or clues that might not be immediately obvious. Would you be alright if I took a look around? Of course, if you're not comfortable with that, I completely understand. Please, as you need, I've nothing to hide. Whatever to help you find my daughter's killer. Okay, so I'm going to start here. A half-empty bottle of red wine sits on the kitchen table. Outside the window you see a view of the barren woods across the street, the location where Emily's body was found. This will be a constant, painful reminder to Linda, you think to yourself. Okay. A few dirty dishes linger in the grimy kitchen sink. The counter is faded and scratched, but otherwise clean and free of clutter. The stove is a grease streaked with smudges and burnt remnants of old meals. The refrigerator hums faintly but offers little in the way of freshness. Inside, the shelves are half empty, with only a few forgotten leftovers and expired condiments. Is the inside of my fridge really relevant to anything, sir? Yes, it is. Behind the large boombox there is a framed photo of a man. That's my late husband. She barely musters the words. Mr. Johnson is smiling, his face trapped in eternity, the cheerful expression now a memory after his untimely passing. I heard about him, ma'am. Okay, cool. Outdated telly. Empty box of white wine. Okay, so let's now go here. Cool headquarters. No. But it's handy to know that there's a simple photograph of roses, their soft pink petals captured in a moment of bloom. Emily took that photo when she was in 7th grade. The washing machine is a basic model with a worn-out lid. A single sock lies forgotten on the lid, and the smell of mildew is subtly present in the room. The old rusted metal shelves hold a few mismatched garments. Okay. On top of the old dresser sits a jar of half-melted candle wax and an open bottle of wine, clearly kept for a rainy day. Okay, cool, right. Let's go in here. You note a stack of overdue bills on the table, the red ink declaring the urgency of the situation. The amount owed seems to be growing with each passing day. It appears Linda was in some deep shit. You found a clue. Okay. A haphazard pile of books sits on a dresser. Wait, there's something else here. Tucked between the books is a photograph. Its surface is scratched, but it can't be more than a year old. It shows Emily and Linda, the two standing in the living room. Emily's smile seems forced, her posture stiff, arms crossed, while Linda's expression is tight, almost angry. Besides the visible tension and distance between the mother and daughter, you notice something more unsettling. A subtle bruise on Linda's arm, partially visible. You found a clue. The sound of the ticking clock on the dresser is oddly comforting, though the hands seem to move slower than usual, as if time is at a standstill in the room. A wastebasket filled with crumpled up tissues and empty cans of beer. Okay. It's a black and white photo of an elderly man, perhaps Linda Johnson's father. His expression is stoic and serious, showing a man whose presence is felt even in his absence. Behind the lamp, a faded photograph of an elderly woman, Linda's mother you assume, hangs on the wall, slightly crooked. She is smiling and holding a bouquet of flowers. A younger Linda can be seen in the background, laughing in the sunlight. A bathroom waste basket is filled with used tissues, empty soap wrappers and a few stray hairs. Nothing worth noting here. No, detective, you're not actually thinking about taking a shit in this poor woman's home, are you? No, of course not. The mirror reflects a dim, tired face. Yes, I am talking about you, detective. The tub is full of stagnant bath water. Okay, is there anything else here? Cool. The shelves are cluttered with towels, some books, random trinkets and other miscellaneous items. Okay, cool. This must be Emily's room, you surmise, based on the giant "Keep Out" poster that greets you at the door. On the table you find an envelope. There's a folded letter inside. Yo, Emily, I ain't playing around no mo. You think you can just drop me like I's nothing after all I did for you. You walk out like I'm some kind of joke. Nah, girl, you gonna regret making me look like the fool. You keep hanging with that Jake Buster, but now know where you's been at. You don't mess with my heart and walk away clean. I ain't letting this slide, Emily. One day soon you're gonna feel it. Count on that. HSSHD. Okay. HSSHD. Hot Spice Shop Hood Dog. Paul Richards, the little rat bastard. You found a clue. Cool. A small box rests on top of the shelves, containing various pieces of trinkets and jewellery that reflect her personality, a blend of youthful charm and disorganisation. The closed cabinet seems mundane, but the smell of perfume still lingers in the air around it. You close your eyes and imagine that this is what Emily smelled like when she was alive. For a moment it feels like she's here, in this room, standing with you, but a moment later the feeling fades. A small odd lamp sits on the desk, its shade yellowed with age. A well-worn rabbit lies on Emily's bed, its fabric frayed and eyes scratched, holding an air of comfort despite its wear and tear. Above the bed hangs a poster for the hardcore punk band Biohazard. The basket is overflowing with towels. Okay, so anything else? I don't think that there is there? No. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it there. Cool. Is there anything else that I need to question her about? Okay, let me just see. Just skim over the notes you compiled. That threatening letter Paul wrote, can you tell me more about it? She turns red, flushing with anger. Paul always made her feel small. He had a way of twisting everything. I always told her he wasn't right for her, but it didn't matter. Emily marched to the beat of her own drum. That letter was just the icing on the cake to everything else. But that's what Paul's like, a fucking bully. Did you report it? Did Emily? Emily thought it was just drama. She would have never forgiven me if I reported it. Escalation was the last thing she wanted, but maybe not reporting it is what killed her in the end. Her voice lowers, pained the sound of the words coming out of her mouth, piercing her heart like the very blade that robbed her daughter of life. That's something else I want to ask you about, ma'am. I found a photo of you and Emily. I suspect it wasn't taken too long ago. Something feels off about it. The way you're standing, the way Emily looks, like there's distance between you two. What was going on then? She shifts uncomfortably, her eyes flickering to the wall behind you. That darn photo. We were barely talking at that point. Taken last Christmas. Emily was angry. It felt like everything was falling apart. And Tommy, God, I don't know where to start. We were fighting again. Fighting about what? Everything. Emily didn't trust me anymore. She hated how I tried to ruin her life by not letting her be with Paul. And then Tommy, every argument felt like it was spiralling into something worse. It was just a mess, always fighting over you name it. She bites her lip, a tremor running through her hands. Emily, she hated seeing us fight. That photo, it's like a reminder of everything we couldn't fix, but for some reason I could never bring myself to throw it away. And the bruise on your arm? Was that from one of the fights? It's nothing. I don't want to discuss that, detective. It's not relevant. You sense that her response says everything you need to understand. I saw the overdue bills in your room. Things piling up, not easy to miss. Are you managing financially? You think I don't see it? You think I don't feel the walls closing in? Did you come here to advise me on my goddamn finances? I'm not here to judge, but it's important I understand Emily's environment. She rolls her eyes, shaking her head. You think you almost hear a subtle, bitter laugh beneath her acrimonious stare. What's there to understand? My husband didn't leave a lot of money when he died. Whatever he left had to go to the debts we had. Mortgage, his flight school loans, his gambling debts. Christ, want me to go on? I couldn't keep up. Everything just kept slipping through my fingers. Perhaps it would be better to discuss something else. I get it. Let's move on. You've exhausted this topic. That's all for now. Thank you for your time, Miss Johnson. We'll be in touch. Please find my daughter's killer. Please. She is unable to stop the tears from falling. It would be best to give her space to grieve now. Okay, just want to see if there's anything else. Okay, I can't. Okay, so boom. Here we go. Tommy Harris? He spits tobacco on the ground, giving you a long, scornful look. Yeah, that's me. He shifts his stance defensive, his voice dripping with contempt. What do you want, cop? Don't tell me you're here to solve Emily's murder. Or are you just looking to waste my fucking time? Just a few questions. He spits, narrowly missing your foot, wiping his lips with the back of his hand. Yeah, sure. Probably more than a fewer, because that's all you pigs ever do, ain't it? Dig through other people's mess whilst your own is waiting to be cleaned up. Charming man. Ask about Linda and Emily. I've heard you and Linda had some pretty bad fights. You like to put your hands on women, Tommy? He leans to the side, a slow, practised motion, as he spits out a wad of tobacco. The thick stream arcs silently, landing just inches from your shoe, the dark speck a stark contrast against the dirt. You hear that from Linda? She's full of shit. I ain't touched her in years. She pushed me too far, not the other way around. She's just a bitter old bitch trying to throw dirt on me, always playing the goddamn martyr. You take a small step back. More tobacco splatters at your feet. You want the truth? She's just as messed up as Emily was. You pencil pushers always go looking for someone to pin things on. But it sure as hell ain't me. Funny, because I also heard you and Emily never got along. Maybe you didn't like her back-talking you, huh? Chewing on his tobacco, Tommy's stare tightens, his voice low and rough. Listen, boy, you don't know shit about me or that family. Emily was a goddamn junkie and Linda's a fucking drunk. You make a note of Tommy's remark about Emily before returning to the subject of his violent temper. You're saying you didn't lose your temper a couple of nights ago? Things didn't go south? Lose my temper? Hell, you think I'm some kind of criminal? You ever been in a combat zone, detective? You think they taught us how to be nice over in Nam? I learnt real quick what's important and what ain't. He spits again, the veins in his neck bulging, pulsing with fury. I don't beat women, never did, but Linda's always trying to twist the story, make me the bad guy. It's easy to blame me when she wasn't around to protect Emily. Did she tell you that I caught the girl snorting lines in her bedroom a few weeks ago? No, I didn't fucking think so, pig. Another thud hits the ground. It might be best to inquire with Sarah Foster about Emily's alleged drug use. Ask about what happened the other night. You and Linda had a big fight. You went to the bar. People who saw you said you seemed to be in a bad place, Tommy. People? Fuck people. And who are you? My fucking therapist now? Yeah, Linda and I had a blow up, okay. She was pissed about Emily. Always about Emily. Emily was stealing money from her. I stepped in. Shit went downhill from there. You threaten anyone, Tommy? Tell Emily that you'd kill her? He scans the ground, adding another pile of dark, sticky sludge to the chew spit mess accumulating nearby. I told Emily the truth, that she was a goddamn wreck and dragging everyone else down with her. Maybe if someone else had the balls to say it to her sooner, she'd still be alive. Of course, she didn't take it well. Told me to fuck off. So I let her have it back. Words, not fists. A vein on his forehead pops, straining as his rage builds. Fuck that, I didn't threaten anyone. I told them both what they needed to hear. I told Linda you raised an idiot for a daughter, and now look at her. I would have slapped them both on the head if I'd thought it'd do any good. You should be looking closer at that drunk bitch if you ask me. Her own mother? Linda didn't tell you that she took out a life insurance policy on Emily 3 months ago, just before Emily turned 18. She made herself the beneficiary. You're saying she stood to gain financially from Emily's death? Damn right, he says, spitting another fresh chew of tobacco into the ground. That's quite an accusation, Tommy. He shrugs, leaving you to stew on the revelation as you feverishly scratch it to your notepad. You'll want to follow up with Linda Johnson at some point. Ask about his alibi. Let's talk about where you were last night, Tommy. People around here don't trust you, and I can't say I blame them. I was home. Home alone? How convenient. No witnesses. Not much of an alibi, is it? As he chews his tobacco, his voice turns more bitter. I don't need a goddamn alibi. I told you I was home. Ain't no one around to confirm that. Well, that's too fucking bad. For you, mate. He scoffs, leaning forward. I don't answer to you, detective. I was home and I don't need to prove a goddamn thing to you. Police, politicians, you can all go to hell. You ever heard of Wacko Detective? You all ain't better than me, the animals that did this to Emily. Sounds like you've got a problem with authority, Tommy. Everyone's the enemy, huh? He glares at you, a sneer curling on his lips. You wouldn't know anything about it, bootlicker. They've been lying to people like me for years. First they send us to fight their wars, then they leave us to rot when we come back. You think I'm gonna roll over and take your shit? I'll tell you something though, that drifter around the mall, Eddie Blake, that jittery freak, don't trust him. He's got something to hide. Could have been him. Maybe you're just trying to shift the heat off yourself. Tommy shrugs, a thick gloop of tobacco flying from his mouth. Fuck you. You don't know anything about me or what I've seen. I ain't the one who's guilty here. You're going to look back on this and realise you wasted your time on me. Eddie wasn't the one fighting with Linda and Emily. That was you. So why should I trust a word you're saying? You know what? I don't give a fuck if you do or don't. Got cause to arrest me? Then do it. Otherwise, get off my fucking property. Why aren't you digging into that pervert pastor or that little snivelling shithead Paul Richards? I bet one of them are connected and you're too busy chasing shadows to see it. This line of inquiry doesn't seem to be going anywhere. And he's right. You don't have cause to arrest him or detain him. Not yet, anyway. Ask about his shoe size. Let's cut the crap, Tommy. What's your shoe size? What kind of dumbass question is that? He says, laughing bitterly. You think my boots are gonna solve your little murder case? Maybe. Humour me. He rolls his eyes. 10.5. Same as half the men in this town. But sure, why not? Go ahead and waste your time chasing after my boots whilst the real killer's out there laughing at you. You'd be surprised what we find, Tommy. Shoes tell a lot. Yeah? What, you gonna arrest me for having feet now? What's my boot gonna be saying when it's up your fucking ass, detective? Tommy's anger boils over as he spits again, his words a mix of defiance and resentment. The tension in the air is thick, like he's about to snap at any second. You've got what you need for now. Tommy Harris is a man full of blame, pointing fingers but never owning up. It's not enough to clear him, but it's a start. Thanks for the information, Tommy. This has been very useful. See you around. A final hunk of chew hits the ground with a wet splatter. Cool. So, don't know that I can actually follow up. So yeah. Cool. Right, so I'm going to head over to the left. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. So let's... Wow. Okay. So let's go have a word with this dude here. Officer Wallace nods thoughtfully, a flick of admiration in her eyes. You're starting to make some sense of all this, I'll give you that. If you keep following the facts like you are now, we might actually get somewhere. Okay, cool, right. Hope your investigation's going smoothly so far. We've got a lot of work, though. We've got a lot to work through, so we need to stay on top of things. Have you visited Emily's mother yet? Yes. Good. Linda's been through hell. She deserves answers. I hope she was able to shed some light on Emily's last days. Excuse me. By the way, Dr. Daniels should be wrapping up the autopsy report. I'd suggest you consult with him. Sure, I'll get around to it. Don't waste too much time. The sooner you review the report, the sooner we can connect the dots. Once I finish here, I'm thinking about grabbing dinner at the Damsel. You and Henderson are welcome to join if he's feeling up to it, of course. Let me know. Cool. Right. So, I am... Oh, there's a phone up here. Right. So, I'm actually going to save the game here for now. Call headquarters. Yes. Cool. Pick up the phone. So, I've got a few more things to go through. Interestingly enough. So, yes. Oh, is that you, Detective? It is. Badge number. I've got your file open right here. So, I'm going to save over. Can't wait to hear about your next big breakthrough. You hang up the phone. Okay, so I have got through. I have spoken to Linda, Emily's mother, and Linda's boyfriend, Tommy Harris. So that is gone through those avenues now. So I've still got a fair bit to actually get through. Let's take a quick look. Okay, so the tasks, I've got 7 out of 25 and I've got 14 out of 33 clues. So the to-do list, I need to follow up with Linda, I need to interview Emily's friends, I need to locate Eddie Blake, I need to investigate the broken window, interview Jacob Turner, investigate the headless statue and interview Paul Richards. So that's what I've got on my to-do list. Then the clues, the bloodied clothes, so basically the same clues that I had before, so not many new clues I don't think really. So yes, so okay, cool, got lots of different names down here, so cool. And suspects, don't have any suspects at the moment. So yes, so I am going to leave it there for now. So next time I will continue on interviewing many more people as much as I can, but I am going to leave it there. So if you do like this content, please do subscribe, comment, like, share, and let me know your thoughts. Have you played RPG Maker with? And if so, have you played a murder in Buckfield, and what were your thoughts on it as well? But for now, that is all. So I will say goodbye, stay safe everyone, and I will catch you next time. Bye for now.